Welcome to the Brotherhood of the Briar. I'm the Dapper Codger, Greg Hergott, from South Carolina, USA. Hope everyone's having a great day today. I've got my artisan handmade pipe by Mutt Cat, who hand makes these in Indonesia. It's my calabash. It is a beautiful pipe, Mutt Cat pipe. This is teak wood, and this is acacia wood. You may have seen me post that in another video. And I'm smoking Balkan Supreme that I bought in bulk from McCranny's Pipe Shop out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And I'm drinking the Pipe Cottage coffee from Moose Run Coffee. And I got my We the People hat on. So anyway, one of the main reasons that I smoke a tobacco pipe, I mean, obviously I enjoy the taste and I love the aroma, and that's probably why many of you smoke a tobacco pipe. But also, one of the main reasons we smoke a tobacco pipe is because it just gives us a moment to kind of sit back, calm down, and contemplate things. And that's what I'm doing now. It's kind of a rainy morning here in South Carolina, just sitting back and contemplating things. And I've been thinking, we all have so many opinions. I've got my very strong opinions about things, and some of you would agree with them, and some of you would highly disagree with them. But we've got three common bonds that make us all the same. We're all people, obviously. Eventually, we will all die, and that's something we all have in common. And the third one, I think, is that we all really want to know what the truth is. That's very important to me, and I'm sure it's important to you as well. Now, we may disagree on what that truth is, but I believe there are absolute truths. It bothers me when people say, well, Greg, that's your truth. This is my truth. Well, I have to disagree with that. This is a pipe. That's the truth. You could say, well, Greg, I identify that as a pretzel. Well, the truth is it's a tobacco pipe. That's the truth. I could come and hit you upside the head with a 2x4, and you'd be like, ow, that hurts. And what if I said, well, that's your truth? My truth is that gives you total enlightenment. You know what I'm trying to get at. If I hit you upside the head with a 2x4, that's ridiculous, right? Only one of those is true. It either hurts like hell or it gives you true enlightenment. They can't both be true at the same time. Only one of them is true. And so I would be a fool for saying it gives you true enlightenment if I hit you upside the head by a 2x4. There is such a thing as absolute truth. Now, we may disagree on what that is, but there still is an absolute truth. I believe in God. You may or you may not believe in God. They can't both be true. Either God is real or God is not real. One of them is true and one of them is false. The thing that bothers me is if you don't believe in God, I don't hate you. But some of you hate me for that. Let's assume you're right. Let's assume there's not a God. I genuinely believe there is a God, a living God. And let's just assume you're right and you think I'm stupid and confused. Okay, well, what if I'm stupid and confused? Why do you hate me? You shouldn't hate me. I don't hate you because I think you're wrong and confused. I don't hate you. We used to have a time where we could have a friendly debate, and we could disagree, and then we could bring our facts, or what we believe are facts, to the table, have a conversation, and one of us might change the other's mind, and at the end of the day, if not, we had a friendly debate and we agree to disagree. But we don't hate each other. But we've lost that. And I don't hate you if I think you're wrong and confused. To me, I think we're at a place where we need to realize who our true enemy is. And it's not who you think it is. I'm not your enemy. You're not my enemy. I believe there are a small group of people, and again, you may disagree, but I strongly believe there are a small group of elite, rich, filthy rich people that intentionally want to divide us because they understand that united we stand, we the people, united we stand, and divided we fall. If we're divided and we're arguing with each other about things that really don't matter, then we are weaker. But if we are united, we stand. And I truly, as much as I believe that there is a God and his name is Jesus Christ, I also believe there is a very powerful evil going on, intentionally trying to divide us. And we need to recognize who our real enemy is. And so you're not my enemy, even if I disagree with you. You're only my enemy if you're truly evil, and I don't think you're truly evil if I just disagree with you. Yeah, I believe there's 2 genders. If you believe there's 48, well, you think I'm wrong, I think you're wrong, we think the other is confused. We can't both be right. Only one of us is right, but regardless, I don't hate you. You shouldn't hate me. And I just finished reading a book on Tuesday by Alex Jones, The Great Awakening. And next to the Bible, this is one of the most relevant books that I have read. It's very good. So, again, you may disagree with me, but this book points out very clearly things are way more corrupt than you think they are. I mean, you may agree with me and you think, oh yes, they're corrupt. They're even more corrupt than you think. They are even more evil than you think, okay? It's way worse. And he goes into great detail about all of that and who's really running things and how evil they really are. And he doesn't use Fox News as a reference or Newsmax. He actually just reads everything that the opposite side puts out. And it's bad. But I believe that God is bigger than all of the evil, even though it's worse than I could ever imagine it was. And so I'm sitting there contemplating all this. You like this? I'd actually like to read to you from part of this book. This is towards the end of the book. And Alex Jones is talking about, you're probably familiar, whether you're a Christian or not, the story of Moses and the parting of the Red Sea. So Alex actually goes in and he reads the whole story of Moses. I'm not going to do that. It's in Exodus if you want to go back and read it for yourself. But if you're not familiar with it, basically, the Israelites were enslaved, excuse me, by the Egyptians. And God told Moses to tell them to let the people go. He put all kinds of plagues on the Egyptians. Finally, Pharaoh from the Egyptians said, fine, leave, get your Israelites and leave. And so the Israelites left Egypt out of slavery. And it wasn't long after the Pharaoh realized of Egypt, the Pharaoh of Egypt, what am I doing? I let him go. Let's go get him. And so Pharaoh and the Egyptians start chasing after the Israelites. And the Israelites come to the Red Sea. And the Israelites are like, can't believe you brought us out here. It's so bad. We got the Egyptians are chasing us. They're going to kill us. We got the Red Sea in front of us. We're trapped. There's no way out. And God says to Moses, put your staff down, and the Red Sea parts. And, excuse me, the Israelites walk across on dry land. The Egyptians come in chasing them. And then as soon as the Israelites get to the other side safely, the Red Sea collapses and caves in and kills every one of the Egyptians that were evil and chasing them. So I want to read Alex Jones' part where he just finished talking about that. And now this is Alex talking. So I'm going to read here. And we know what happened next. The Israelites were able to pass safely through the waters. And when the Egyptians sought to pursue, the waters closed on Pharaoh's army, leaving not even a single survivor. What I'm getting at in this is that God is bigger than the enemy, okay? Doesn't matter how bad things look. God is bigger and God is in control. And you're like, well, why does God allow evil? Well, God allows free will. And you really can't have true freedom and true liberty and true love if you don't allow free will, people to choose to do good or evil. I'm going to continue. This is Alex. I believe God has made our enemies so obstinate that they are actively pursuing us like Pharaoh's army to their own destruction. The stories of the Bible give us a template to use today. For me, as the story of Exodus teaches us, turning the tide always begins with an acknowledgement of God and humbling ourselves before His mighty throne. Alex continues, I believe we stand at a crossroads, with one future filled with wonders and morality and another filled with terror and wickedness. When people ask me what will turn the tide, I always tell them the same thing. It is us and our devotion to God and the life of abundance He wants us to have. Evil wants us to act against our nature, embracing fear and anger rather than confidence and calm, and hate the chaos rather than love and understanding. And hate and chaos rather than love and understanding. We will not beat the deep state because we know every single fact about them. We will defeat our enemies because they see the goodness of our souls, and if they heed God's warning, they will have a chance to turn away from the darkness. If not, they will face destruction as surely as Pharaoh's army. We may feel like the Israelites did, looking behind us to see Pharaoh's terrifying army, and in front of us, the deep waters of the ocean. We may even wonder for a moment about the wisdom of our fight against their dark forces. But even though we have been terrified of the strength of the enemy, we have taken many courageous steps against them. And it is in the time of Moses, if we stand strong and whisper to ourselves, "Be still and know God," He will open a glorious path for our liberation. You do not need to worry about or figure out a fix for every wicked act in the world. Just be the person God intended you to be. And in the part of the world you have influence, let me read that again. Just be the person God intended you to be in the part of the world where you have influence. Only worry about the fight that comes to you. Rest assured, there will be enough fights to go around, and you will have your chance to make a stand with God. Rather than turning our gaze outward to many problems of the world, we should turn inward and ask God for the strength to deal with the lies in front of us. We're all in this fight together, and with no individual more important than another, Our power lies in God's collective humanity. Don't worry about who they are. Worry about who you are and which master you serve. I want to leave you with the Beatitudes from the book of Matthew, and then he goes on to read the Beatitudes. If you want to read them, if you're not familiar with them, go to the book of Matthew in the Bible. And then he reads them all. And then after that he says, we are as we have always been, children of God, assaulted on all sides by agents of the devil who wish to steal our joy. But the God who led the Israelites out of Egypt, who gave us his only begotten Son, so that the world would not know death, is still in charge. And I love that because Alex is a smart man. I never really followed this guy. I heard he was a conspiracy nut. And I saw him talk on Tucker Carlson a month ago or so. And I thought, man, this guy makes a lot of sense. And the thing is, he goes into detail about how evil this world really is. Shows you point blank facts. And I may go into it in another video. I'm not going to go into it now. But he knows how bad it is. And yet his hope is in God. And my hope is in God. And I truly believe in God. And you may know him well, you may not. But God is love, and love is patient. God is patient. Love is kind. God is kind. Love endures all things. God endures all things. Love never fails. God never fails. As bad as things get, God is in charge. And quite honestly, it seems to me like God he likes the impossible. When we started this country in 1776, we were a small group of nobodies up against the biggest power in the world. And I guarantee you, so many said, it's just not possible. But with God, they overcame the biggest power in the world at the time, and it gave us freedom and liberty. And we can, again, today have freedom and liberty through Jesus Christ. So, thank you for joining me and listening to me today. I'm gonna finish smoking my pipe. If you enjoyed this, then please like the video and subscribe. Until next time, thank you for joining me on the Brotherhood of the Briar.